Right there, kind of sticking out from the wall, is the wide. It's looking at all of us. Wendy, that camera right there on the left side of you is looking directly at you. Neil, that camera right there is looking at you. When you're talking, try not to look up at the monitor too much, just because.
No problem. I'll look at Neil or you.
Good.
That's how I roll.
Thank you. Other than that, yeah, everybody ready?
Sure.
We didn't pray.
Hi, everyone. Today, we got another That One House story for you. Today, we have Neil and Wendy Moore. Neil, you know, as the person that in the soccer camp video got up on top of the fire engine and was doing some video of spraying the water over the little kids. I always appreciate that because I would have never been able to do that. And then, Wendy, what would they
Yes.
give us a bit of an introduction for yourself?
I'm Irvin Donna Lister's daughter, Brent's sister. That's how I'm known.
Perfect. We're just going to be talking about their story and talking about, you know, what brought you back here. Neil, you said you guys came here a while ago and all that stuff.
We were married here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
40 years ago.
Yeah, 1985.
Oh, that was 40 years ago, wasn't it? Guess who was born in 1986?
Sorry, didn't mean to make you feel so old.
All good. So let's just get right into it. I'm, of course, Jake, your intrepid host for this wild jaunt through the Becoming That One House guests. Other than that, I like to start with an icebreaker, just kind of get us talking, gets us endeared to our audiences. Let's go with what's your favorite genres of music, artists, songs, whatever?
Go for it.
Me?
Yeah.
No. I listen to a lot of country, mostly. You know, Luke Bryan is one of my favorites. And I also listen to 80s and 90s country and 80s and 90s praise and worship. So, love me some Point of Grace and Casting Crowns.
Yeah, I'm a 70s, 80s classic rock kind of guy. I do listen to some country out of default.
You're so mean.
Well, but really, I am a wide range of music kind of guy. I like the real old stuff, the big band stuff. I even like Hawaiian music. So, yeah.
Cool. Oh, I suppose I should answer too. I always do. I am kind of a punk rocker at heart.
Oh.
If you've seen any of there's an artist named Grace Grabber that has been doing like modern worship songs in like a punk style, and I have just been here for that for whatever reason. But I grew up on the 80s and 90s country music and worship songs, and I was actually in a 50s, 60s, and 70s cover band in high school. So
Cool.
I am well versed in anything audible. Anyway, so let's get down into your guys' story here. Why don't you both of you go ahead and just tell me your story?
Our story?
Well,
We've been together a long time, so
way back when.
yeah. How far back?
So when I grew up in the church, grew up in Casanova, went to Casanova Reformed, grew up in the church there. My mom was Sunday school superintendent of like 12 kids, but just always at church, it seemed like, twice on Sunday, once in the middle of the week. Youth group consisted of like 6 kids, so we really didn't do a lot. But I was friends in high school with a guy that went to church here, back in the Sparta Baptist days, and we were real good friends. And I graduated out of high school, and he said, "Hey, you need to come to a youth group with me." We got a pretty cool youth group, and this was during the Doug Bite work days. And so I came here, and of course I started college that same year that I came here, so I was kind of like living two different lives. You know, that good Christian youth group kid, and then the college rebellious kid at the same time. But coming here and going to youth group, being surrounded by a lot of good Christian kids, kind of helped. And of course, I met Wendi at that time. I won't tell you about that experience of when we met, but yeah, it was just, that's when we met, and we were kind of off and on for 3 or 4 years there before we settled in and got married. So
5.
5 years, yeah. Go ahead. Do you want to pick up from there?
I guess.
Okay.
I too was raised in the church, Baptist church. My dad was a professor when I was younger at Moody Bible Institute, and then my parents got divorced and we came back here, and I was kind of a rebellious teen as well. Mother and I didn't get along very well, but I came back, I guess. Neil won me with his telling me that he knew God wanted us to be together whether I did or not. So I just went, okay. So yeah, we got married, and we kind of left the church after we got married here because we kind of wanted to find our own way, because it felt like, you know, all my family and everything was here. And so we moved to Grand Rapids, and then to Flint, and then back to all over.
Yeah, we 3 years after we got married, we moved to Grand Rapids, bought our first house, moved to Grand Rapids. It's closer to work, so we just decided to find a church closer to home. So we ended up going to Trinity Baptist there in Aberdeen. We enjoyed it there, and then I got a job transfer to Flint. So it wasn't really intentional to leave the church here, but it just was more convenient. So then we kind of, with life and kids and jobs and back and forth, went from Flint, we came back to Sparta, moved to Sparta, but we went what I thought would be a more contemporary church service at the time.
Oh yeah, at the time it was.
Yeah, and again, I think with Wendy's family coming here, I don't know, not that there's anything wrong with their family, it just, I don't know, some kind of weird awkwardness about it. I don't know. I can't explain it, but we ended up going to Kent City, and we had friends that went there, and we enjoyed the contemporary music and the band and everything. So that's kind of what drew us there to begin with. And Pastor Hammond was there, great preacher, and we made some great friends there, and raised our kids there. And then things happened, and we decided guess we, for lack of a better term, we just couldn't go there anymore. There was some hurt, and so we just left and went to we kind of floundered. We went to Solon Center, Wesleyan. Pastor Doug was there, and great guy. We were there for 4 years, and then the housing market crashed, and our house, we were on a land contract, so we had to do something, and we ended up moving into Comstock Park at the apartments, and found a small church in Comstock Park that we liked. And then we bought a house, bought the house next door to the house we sold in Kent City, and moved back to Kent City. And at the same time, the pastor from the church we were going to in Comstock Park left. So it was, and from that point, then it was COVID. And so we kind of floundered around back and forth. Didn't really know where we wanted to go or if we could go.
We stayed home for the first time ever.
Yeah, first time in almost 60 years. It's like we're home every Sunday, and I think we got used to that.
Too much.
And then why don't you take it from there?
My parents were aging, as parents do, and they had some steps and some stuff where they were at that wasn't really safe. And we were trying to decide what the next move for them would be. So we decided that we would have them move in with us. And it was unbelievable because I asked Neil what he thought, and he said, sure. And I was just shocked. But anyway, when we made that decision, I promised them that I would get them to church every week, no matter what. No matter where we ended up, because we tried to get in Sparta, but couldn't find a house in Sparta, couldn't find a house in Kent City, couldn't find a house. We looked and looked, and fortunately we ended up in Cedar, so not Greenville where we were looking. So anyway, I made a promise to bring them here every week, and that's what brought us back here.
And then we moved in September of 24, right? Yeah, September 24, we moved in to our new house. We moved Irv and Donna in with us in October, and we started coming back then, and that's when Ben was in the middle of his campaign, I guess, and that's when
his Vision Cast message was October 20th of 24.
Yeah.
Because I re-listened to it again yesterday.
Yeah. So when we listened to that, that was kind of like the clincher of, I know we were coming back here for your parents, but after that message was like, yeah, this was God directed. It really wasn't decisions that we made. It was just God directed. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, that kind of answers a number of the questions I had here. Is there anything other than the Vision Cast that made you stay here other than, I mean, obviously having to bring Irvin Donna back here weekly probably helped that, but anything, was it just the vision that captivated you, or was there something else going on here, some kind of, I don't have a better word for it. I'm so sorry. It's such a young term, a vibe of the church.
A mystical vibe.
No.
No.
For me, it was that message because he alluded to the fact that some things had happened, and I'd been through some stuff, and I was told I didn't agree with the leadership of the church, and I didn't understand why. And then when I heard him speak of what his vision was for what the church should be, it just hit my heart, because that's exactly what I wanted, and I didn't realize it. So, he started out with, "You will hear my heart," at the beginning of the message, and that's exactly what came across was his heart. I knew he was sincere, and that's what I was looking for, I guess, from where we were.
Yeah, and you know how sometimes when you're listening to a sermon, you're listening and you're thinking about somebody else, you're like, oh, so-and-so needs to hear this, or so-and-so needs to hear this. And as Ben was speaking, I'm thinking, Wendy's liking this. Wendy's liking this. I know.
Yeah, a place where you are safe, accepted, cared for, and valued. And that is exactly how I have felt here. And not only valued, but heard.
That's
So,
And that's something that when we left Kent City, and I hate putting that out there like that, but I don't want to begrudge other pastors or other people at another
we aren't
church.
grudge holders.
No, we're not. We're forgiving. And but when we did leave there, I knew there just came. I mean, Wendy was hurting, and there came a point during a sermon. I knew she was hurting, and we just got up and left, and that was
18 years ago? 17.
Was
Huh?
it 17 years ago?
I think so.
Something like that. And
I'm on Netflix season 17, and I want to have the final
final season.
the final season and be done with it. And I'm close. And a lot of that healing has happened since I started here. So
Yeah. And as for the other part of your question about were there other mystical things going on here that kept us here, at other churches, I've always wanted to find or to be a part of a good men's ministry, and it's just not there. So many churches either don't have a men's ministry, or the men in the church are too weak. I hate saying that, but they're just too weak to be spiritual leaders within that church, or we had a pastor at one church that just couldn't let go of control of the programs. You'd start a program and we're like, oh, good, we're good. And he's like, he's got to take it back, So the one thing that I liked here was the Men's Rise, a couple of events that we've done, out at Bowers and up at Haymarsh, and the men here are solid. You can have a conversation with any of them, and it's, you can have, I don't talk about sports, but if that was my thing, I could go to anyone and talk about sports if I wanted to, but there's more spiritual talk, or people caring, how you doing, and not just a, hey, how you doing? It's more of a, how are you doing? Are you getting through this, or I heard you're doing this, or, and when we moved and we were moving Irv and Donna in, hey, we're moving, there's 5 guys right there ready with a trailer or a truck or whatever, and, so there's little things that go on, little mystical things, I guess, that go on that have really solidified my decision to stay here.
I think you may have already asked this or answered this, but I'm going to ask it just because I think, what is it about the vision of that one house that captivated you so?
Well, when I listened to the message again last night, he stated, no one should be lonely in the house of God. And I guess that's one of the things I really have always felt like you need to belong, you need to be able to reach out and help one another. And I was trying to do that where we were, and it just wasn't, people weren't agreeing with me in the same way. And I guess I feel it's really important, like we've got connected in the small groups, because that's where you're going to really learn and grow and get to know people. And it just seems to be more of a thing here. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Wendy and I have always felt the small groups are an important part of being a part of the church. We've been in small groups at other churches, and we've always come away from those groups with very good friends, close friends that
We're still friends with.
yeah, we've been through some stuff with them, you know, and they've been through some stuff with us. So, yeah.
Okay. So what does becoming that one house mean to you for SCC to become that one house?
I'll let you take that one.
Well, part of what Ben talked about was, and I guess this is what got me, is when I came to this church, the friend that brought me here, his house was that one house. For me, as a teenager, at home was, I mean, I was the youngest of 5 kids, and there was a 6-year difference between me and my youngest sister. So I was almost like a only child, baby of the family. So in my teen years, I was home by myself and living out in the country. There's not much to do out there but tip cows and smash mailboxes. So, but and my friend kind of grew up in kind of the same type of household where but he wasn't the youngest. He was second to youngest. But there's always activity going on, you know, and Ben talked about that with his friend where he went to his friend's house and there was always things going on and felt more part of the family. And I had that same thing at my friend's house. I'd go there, play video games, they'd invite you to stay for supper, go swimming in the pool, whatever. And what makes that so inviting is, like what Wendy said, you just don't feel alone. You know, you feel like you're a part of something, and even if you're not contributing a lot, it doesn't seem to matter to them. They're like, hey, you're here. That's all we just want you here. It's not about what you have or what you can give, but it's about who you are as a person. It's more of your heart than it is belongings. It's rather belonging rather than belongings, you know. So, and that's what drew me in on Ben's message was, we're here for everybody, you know. And him and I just talked about this a couple days ago too. Is if we're going to be that one house for the community, people are all looking for different things. Some people will want to come for the music. Some people want to come for Bible studies. Some people want to come just to be here, just to feel part of something. Some people have things they want to contribute, things that we might not even consider. You know, they come in and say, I have this talent, or I have this ability, or I have this resource, and I'd like to share it with the church. And you might be like, we never even thought of that. That's awesome. And that can bring other people that are looking for that same thing. And so, and I guess I'm the kind of person that I like variety in everything, you know. So whether it's music or food or except soft drink, it's always Diet Coke.
Same.
I knew I liked you for a reason. So, too many times in the churches we've been in, it seems to be lean very heavy in one direction. And so that's what I like about SEC is we're heading in the direction of everything or all-inclusive. So.
All right. So on that, What do you think it means for us to be that one house internally for like each other, for like the SCC community itself?
What are you looking at
Well,
me
you
for?
said you had notes, so I didn't.
I had notes on the message, but I didn't prepare.
Oh, oh. So internally, so go ahead.
I was going to say, I think just being available to one another, just being aware when you're here, if you see somebody that looks like they're having a bad day or could use a hug or whatever. I love that when we do the greet time, there's people that I hug every week. And I know my dad, bless his heart, had some little kids that used to come up and hug him every week. And it's just, I think that helps feel like you're connecting with somebody. And like I said, you're seen. And I think that's just really important internally, that we feel more like a family than a church, more like a one body instead of just individuals in a building.
Yep, I agree. I try on Sundays, even before the greeting time, like if we're ever there,
We're not good about getting here early.
If the stars align and we're here a few minutes early, I like to try to go around the auditorium at the place we don't sit and at least say hi. I might ask your name, I might not ask your name. I just want you to know that I see you. I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to shake your hand. If I do know who you are, if I know there's a struggle, I might ask how things are going. But I don't like the whole go in, sit in your spot in your pew, and then get up and leave. I want people to be seen or know they've been seen. So
I would be much more open to that if we started at 10 o'clock instead of 9:30, but
I'll pass.
I'm just saying.
I'll pass that on to the powers.
Ben, are you watching?
You better be. You're not on this one. How do you think? Well, actually, before I go on, you say you talk about your dad when you talk about giving hugs to a lot of people, and that is actually like one of the things that in my household he is remembered for. My wife, I don't know how much she actually spoke to him, but she remembers that every time she would come when we were like engaged and into being married, Irv would be there and welcome her with a hug and just ask her how she was, and just consistently. And he will never be forgotten, I'm sure, for many of other reasons, but in my household, that one particularly.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I've had quite a few people actually tell me that, and that's why it was kind of heartbreaking for me towards the end when he said he couldn't, greet anymore. He didn't feel comfortable because he couldn't remember people's names, and that bothered him because he really wanted to greet you with a name and know that you are seen and you are, welcome. I tried to tell him it didn't matter, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, if I greet you, I probably won't remember your name. You tell me 3 times, 4 times, Yeah.
Neil, we've been in a video together. What do you mean, Jim?
Hey, dude. Thanks.
Hey, you.
Oh, yeah, you hate it when people call you that.
Hey, governor. Yeah.
So how do you think that being that one house for each other with just internally lays, well, first let me ask, what do you think it means for us to be that one house for the larger community of Sparta? And how do you, and beyond that, how do you think that being that one house internally for each other is the bedrock for being able to be that one house for the Sparta community?
Well, I think we do a really good job already. I mean, I know there's always room for improvement, but with the things that we do with the community, such as the trunk or treat and the hygiene pantry and things like that, I think we've already got a good start at that. So I'm not sure how to move it forward, but
Yeah, I think as far as the people go, if we're solid in the church, it helps us to be more solid outside of the church. So when I see this a lot on Facebook in the Sparta Communications or Sparta Community page or whatever, people are like, hey, we're new to the community. Is there a church that, and I see our members are, hey, we're on the corner. We're easy to find.
Yeah, they're pretty on top of it about
yes,
that.
they
Yeah,
are.
they are. And I mean, most of the people from the other churches too, they're like, hey, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And but I think part of that is like people in the community, if they have good experience with Sparta Center Church, if they don't have a church home and somebody asks them, hey, where's the church? Well, you know, that church on the corner, they're nice people. You know, they do trunk or treat and they do soccer camp and they do hygiene pantry or whatever. And, you know, if they don't have a bad experience with the members of the solidness inside, they won't have a problem sharing us with others on the outside. So.
Yeah. Just to speak from my own experience, I think that, well, one of the things for us, and I know it's an easy target because it's a big event for us, but the trunk or treat, like, I think every child in Sparta comes through this parking lot.
Sparta, Kent City, Cedar Springs.
Right?
Yeah.
And like, there's an argument to be made about how much a church should be, I'm going to say celebrating, but that's not really what it is, like active on Halloween. But like, it's hard to also then deny the impact of just making a place that is safe for families to come, where they don't have to worry about their kid getting in trouble for like TPing a house or like causing a bunch of mischief or anything else. And I just, that has always been a thing that has impressed me ever since we've been doing it. And I think that's most of the years I've been coming here. So yeah. Other than that, what do you think we can individually do to make SCC more of that one house?
I would say we have to be willing to stretch ourselves, be willing to be open to the nudging of the Spirit. You know, a lot of times it's easy just to be comfortable, come in, sit down, sing your songs, listen to a message. You know, some people during the greeting time are like, hey, how you been? They shake two people's hands and then go sit down. But if we're willing to be open to the nudging of the Spirit, that little voice that says, hey, why don't you go up and speak to Dave or speak to Sally or Larry or you know, Chelsea or whoever is close, if they look like they're having a bad day, or, you know, you don't have to ask them for a drawn out explanation of the day. They might just be looking for a hug or a handshake or, you know, and if you're going to say you're going to pray for them, pray for them. Don't.
I don't say that very often because I refuse to say it and not do it. So
Yeah. And, or if you, and I've done this, is if God lays somebody on my heart 3 o'clock in the morning when I have to go to the little boys' room every night, if he lays somebody on my heart and I pray for them, if I see them in church and I think about it, I will go and tell them, hey, God laid you on my heart and I prayed for you. I don't know what you're going through or whatever, but for some reason God wanted me to pray for you. And I don't know if that ever helps anybody, but it makes me feel used of God in that way. And I think if we're willing to reach out to the other members or other attendees just to let them know and be vulnerable, then I think that's what builds those relationships that make us a solid family.
Okay. And I have one more question that I just thought of. It's not on the outline I gave you. Sorry about
I
that.
refuse to answer then.
All right. What is the most, like, what, knowing the mission, knowing kind of where we're going, looking ahead, what excites you the most about that direction? About becoming that one house for each other, for the community, for the world, for whoever.
What excites me? You did say this wasn't on the thing, so.
Well, when you're at that one house, you're usually having a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's not someplace you aren't drawn to it because it's boring or whatever. Just knowing that you're reaching others and whatever.
Yeah. I guess I would say like when I witness a baptism. Now I'm going to get all emotional.
It's okay, Neil. It's okay.
There. Like when I witness a baptism or listen to somebody's testimony or see somebody come to Christ, that excites me because it says that, you know, when somebody comes to Christ, angels rejoice. So to see that in our church and to see it more often, you know, the baptisms, the family, when families come and get baptized together, and when kids come out of the youth group and get baptized, and other kids in the youth group are there supporting them, that excites me. When, yeah, just people realizing and grabbing a hold of their faith and doing something with it, that excites me. And if the more we do that here, the better. That's what excites me about the future.
All right. Anything else either of you have to add or want to say?
I don't know. Neil's the wordsmith, so.
I guess one thing that I thought of while we were sitting here is the staff that we have here, the preaching team and the praise team and all of that. What I like is it's not stuffy. It's not church, you know, it's, and I think, and I guess that's what I really love about Ben and his style is, and I thought of this when you were talking about Trunk or Treat. He's out there for Trunk or Treat, he's playing music and he's making announcements and we're giving out hot dogs and
That dude gets more steps in on Halloween night than anyone I have ever seen.
Yeah.
He is back and forth to the Walter White Barrel for more candy and fudge, man.
If you're a new person coming in and he didn't introduce himself up front, you probably wouldn't know he was
The
pastor here. You would think he's just another guy, you know, another guy that's on fire for the Lord, that's in the church.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you were talking about the staff. It's like they're all approachable.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go up and talk to any one of them at any time, and we've been to lots of churches where that is not the case. You know, it's like the pastor's a little bit protected or whatever. The pastor's wife is protected.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I appreciate that, and
Yeah, Ben and Joe both, or as I like to call them, PB and J.
Pastor Ben
Ben
and Joe.
yeah.
Or
PB and J.
What's your other one?
17.
Oh, yeah, number 17.
Yeah.
Wait, which one is 17?
Ben, because he's the 17th pastor of the
pastor.
church. So I didn't want to call him 47. So.
That's about his age, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. But I guess that, you know, with like Wendy said, we've been in churches where the pastor is almost untouchable or unapproachable. Maybe not because of what he wants, but because the leadership wants him protected or whatever. But pastors are often just put on pedestals, and, you know, are we there for him or are we there for the Lord? And when we come here, I mean, Ben is up front. He stays up front. You see him praying with other people, and, you know, and if you go up and stand next to him, he'll give you a hug, or you can give him a hug. And he's not your normal, typical pastor. And Josh is the same way. The preaching team, Dan and Michael, you know, they'll stand and talk to you about their message or whatever. Dan will talk to you about weird music, you know. So, very weird music.
Dan will talk to you about a lot of things.
Yeah, but that's what I love about the church, and the staff is their staff, and you included. They're staff, but they're not. I don't know. They're set apart, but they're not set apart. You know, so it's like we're all just here ministering and doing ministry and taking it all in. And just because you got a title doesn't mean that
You're entitled.
oh, you're getting me.
Sorry.
I think she just got you with a you joke.
Yes, she did.
Well, that is something we've talked about in the past, so
Yeah.
that's why it came to mind.
It's also okay to get him with a him joke.
Yeah.
See, he's a little like Jared in that manner. If you don't throw it back at him once in a while, he'll get carried away with his own accomplishments.
Yes. We often discuss which one of us is the funnier. The kids go back and forth. Fortunately, I have one on my side, and he has one on his side, and I don't know what the middle one is. So, anyway.
She's daddy's girl.
Oh, shush.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Couples retreats coming up.
Yeah. Actually, I think by the time I throw this out there, it will have happened already.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think this is going to go up the Friday after Easter. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's Neil and Wendy's story. We hope you enjoyed it. We want to hear more of your stories. If you would like to come on the podcast and just have a discussion with us about your story, about something else, about what it is for you, for this place to become that one house for you, you can get a hold of, well, because he's on the team, you can get a hold of Neil if you want. If you feel so brave, you can approach me. I know I am big scary monster that I am. It's the beard and the cripple walk. I get that, but most likely I'll direct you to him anyways. So, he's got a camera. He's got a microphone. We want to hear from you. We want to put you on, not on display. That's not right. But we want to hear your story. That's what this was started for. We want to hear your story. To that end, if you have a question for us or just anything, or this is how you want to communicate that you want to tell us your story, we have this communication card. We keep it in pew. Connect with us at that one house. There's space for stuff for you to write on the back. You can put your name and whatever. If you have a question for the podcast or something you would like aired on the podcast, but don't want your name to be used, those cards are anonymous, so never use your name. Other than that, we'll see you Sunday. Thank you, guys. That was great.